Welcome, everyone, to People on Dating. I'm your host, Will Morales. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is a topic based conversation about the ups and downs of dating. Whether you're 18 or 80, you have a story to tell. But the gist of the podcast is just a conversation, no judgment. Today, I have Andre Paradis. Andre's mission in life is to teach and empower people. Andre is a certified life coach, entrepreneur, business owner, and artist who is now focusing his professional energy on teaching singles and couples how to create and maintain a successful relationship. Andre, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. How are you, sir?
Very, very good. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm happy to be here and share this material with you.
Yeah, no, and we got a definitely a good topic today. But it says what makes a man commit and what makes him leave, which I love. So, Andre, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become, now you empower people. You're a professional coach. You teach singles and couples how to maintain great relationships. What was Andre's journey to get here?
Interesting. So briefly, it's a long story, so I have to cut it short. Otherwise, that'll be the whole podcast. We talked about earlier. I'm part of two books, and the books are stories of people who started with bad, let's say, poor beginnings in childhood and kind of conquered their lives and became successful. So I'm part of two of these books. And my story started when I was 5 years old, when I realized I was literally the thought in my head at five is I realized I was born in the wrong family.
Mm.
That's with the reality. Like literally, it was freaky and scary and terrifying, actually. But there was something really wrong with where I landed. So 5 years old, I had this realization: how is this possible? But it kind of threw me into watching people. Like I sort of had to make sense of how is that possible? How can you be born in the wrong family?
Right.
How can you palatably think you don't belong here? You know what I mean? In a family with 5 kids, like, wait, so I started watching. I became an observer of life and of people, first to try and understand my circumstances, but it became a lifestyle. I just started watching, everyone all the time, trying to figure out people. And so it was the human condition and all these quirks and how does somebody turns out like this and somebody turn out, that was my life. So I've done this my whole life. I started doing personal development workshops I was 23 years old. The same thing. I was curious about myself, the world, not knowing what I don't know, what may, business, money, self, like all kinds of workshops. That was just, I'm curious by nature, so it was easy for me. Um, and had like multiple businesses. But in 2006, the workshop head that I am was in a workshop in Northern California for business that was business I was managing to pull up. But I meet this couple in the workshop on the flight back to Los Angeles. We're sitting in the same row, which I thought was random, not so much.
Right.
And she says to me, "What are you doing next weekend?" And I go, "Huh, no, I'm off next weekend." She goes, "You want to come to a workshop? It's on me." I'm like, "Of course." Absolutely, of course, because they can be expensive, right? Those things.
Right. Yeah.
On me, she says. The company will have a special, whatever. So, so I agreed to it, but and then I go, wait, what's it about? Right? And she goes, "Oh, it's called Understanding Women."
Mm. Yeah, we're both silent on that one.
Like, I'm like, okay. Now you have to understand, because I have an artistic personality that always had an ease with the ladies.
Right.
I don't tell. I thought I knew something about the ladies. I thought it was me. I thought I had some swag. I don't know what it was, but I didn't do the crazy stuff my friends did with their friends. Like I didn't do the yelling and that I always attracted sweet women.
Right.
Always attracted women. It was always easy for me.
Yeah.
So I thought I knew something, right? So I went in there backwards a little bit, because like now I'm going to spend a weekend in a workshop about understanding women, something that I'm not challenged with. My thought, right? Now, at the time I'm married, my wife, we have two little kids. Everything's doing fine. I'm not looking for this stuff. I'm not looking for this. Anyway, I walk in the workshop that morning and I realized there was 400 people in there. And instantly I got, wait, oh, this is not going to be cute. Something going on here. And sure enough, at the end of the workshop, my brain was all over the walls. Like my brain exploded. I realized I knew absolutely nothing about women, which was more terrifying to me. That means I know nothing about my wife. All my siblings are married and divorced 2-3 times. I have my angel, my baby girl, my wife, my honey, and I don't understand anything about her. I realized that in the weekend, like there was 7 moments that I slipped off my chair,
Wow.
like baffled, unbelievable. Like, how could it be? Is this impossible, right? And but that scared the life out of me because I realized I'm constantly hurting my wife's feelings, having no intentions. But to her, it seems intentional. To her, he has to know better. To her, oh hell. So like to me, the idea of like, what am I doing to her not knowing? Impossible, unthinkable, right? So
Yeah.
like that was too dangerous. So I went crazy. I was actually, it scared the life out of me. Um, I wasn't going to be a statistics just because I didn't know. Right? It's like that's my brain, right? Like so I got to get out. So I actually then ended up taking all the curriculum of that company, all their workshops,
Yeah.
which then threw me into I'm a teacher at heart. So then, of course, a minute later, I'm teaching for them. I'm in the training program to become one of the workshop leaders. And that's how it all started. From there, it just continued into studying with John Gray, Esther Perel, who's,
Oh, wow.
at the time was nobody, Shantie Feldhan in the South, Dr. Pat Allen in Los Angeles. I'm trained as a therapist, but I'm not a therapist because I don't want to be a therapist. I'm
Right.
a coach. I could do NLP work. So that it gives me a lot more freedom to use all the tools and certification that collected throughout the years. I have 14 certifications in
Yeah.
NLP and hypnosis and stuff that allows me to really get my clients on the other side of understanding first where they're stuck on, right? Like unloading your baggage of your childhood is essential. So I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship until we clear the baggage. So all that stuff that is part of the work that I do. So in a nutshell, that was how this whole thing came to be. And then I started helping my friends, and then I had another business, and my customers would come at me and close the door and go, "Can I ask you something?" And so organically, that business just grew to a point where I had to sell the other business in order to do this full time. So this is what I do for a living. This is not
Yeah.
a hobby. It's not cute. It's what I do full time all day long. It's like this morning I started at 7:30, and I just went on for 3 hours with 3 clients, and now I'm with you, and then I have another one later on this afternoon, and so
That's
that's
some
me.
journey. Yeah, wow, that's some
Yeah.
journey. So, and it's funny, Andre, that you say that, and we talk with Andre Paradis, he teaches singles and couples how to create and maintain successful relationships, and that's always the thing for men. We think we might understand women, and for you, you were, let's say, sometime a type of a player back in the day.
mm mm
And so what is it, and like I said, we'll definitely get into the topic, but is it something that we're not understanding about women? Is it not that we're not hearing them, that we're looking at them as something else than a person? I hate to even say that, but are we
yeah.
looking at them as physical objects only, and then the secondary is their mind? What are some of us doing that really sucks?
Well, first of all, we both make the mistake. Both men and women make the mistake of thinking that we're a version of each other. We are
Right,
not. We
right.
are not. So we talk to women like we talk to men.
Mhm.
We deal with them the way we deal with men. This is because that's how we operate,
Right.
right? And often in that, it doesn't work for them. They feel misunderstood. They feel
Mhm.
neglected. They feel abandoned. Sometimes they feel like we're shallow, that we don't care, we're disconnected. We don't talk about our feelings. That makes them uncomfortable. They want to know about our feelings. We don't do that instinctively, naturally, right? So we're two different machines completely.
Mhm.
And not knowing that and pretending that we're the same is really where the problem is, because women will want men to act and talk and behave like women. If you talk more, if he's more vulnerable, he's sweeter. If he's just much more connected to me, of course, it's more comfortable to the feminine. But that's not a man. That's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that whole idea of men men have to be sweet, sensitive, vulnerable to be good men nowadays, that doesn't work. That's not how real men are built. There's that, but those are not the men who build relationships for lifetimes. Those are called boys in my world. They're too self-serving. They're too about themselves. So sweet, sensitive, vulnerable men, friend zone, no one cares. They don't make women feel safe. It doesn't work.
I
Right?
agree. Yeah.
Strong, independent, powerful women, which is how we raise all of them nowadays for the past, few decades. Strong, independent, powerful is masculine. It's masculine. It's masculine. We masculinize women, but what attracts men to women is their femininity. So
Right.
now women are like rocks, that men don't care about because they're too masculine. We're not magnetized, attracted, enchanted by them. And men are too soft, which women don't appreciate, they don't feel safe, so that are interested. So everything is falling apart. The magnetism of this is all nature, by the way. Everything I teach is nature and science, right? In nature, everything is polarized. And when we depolarize men and women, we neutralize the dynamic between them, nothing happens. People cannot create solid bonds that actually are fulfilling and uplifting and want us to step in more and more and get more invested. You see it?
Yeah.
So it's not it's not because we objectify women and they, look at us for our wallets. That's not it. There's an instinct in nature in that, right? Men pick with their eyes and then go find out what kind of woman she is.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, visually, this is the first thing that connects us, but that's just the first hook, right? The whole idea of dating is to find out who she is, and if she's a good woman, looking for you, looking for if you're compatible, blah blah blah, right? That's the investigation of you do when you're dating. Do you know what I mean? So nature for women, what they're looking for is connection and safety. Sometimes that has to do with finances, but it's more about what kind of man are you? Do you handle your stuff? Are you capable? Can you, women, people trip when I say this, but it's factual, there's a lot of data. Women still today want to be led in life. But as a man, you have to know where you're going for her to be able to follow you, right? So, but if we go equality again, that kills that formula. So the problems that I see is all about that new idea of we're equal rights, equal pay, of course, but I mean the same men should be more sweet. No, it's your girlfriend. Women should be more tough. Well, that makes a dude in a skirt. That doesn't. So that's the whole dismantling that I do. All my clients that come at me are stuck in that belief system, and it doesn't serve them. It doesn't work. They make money. The women make money. The guys are sweet, but they're not getting together. It's not working, right? So
yeah. Yeah, and I've been hearing that a lot, Andre, where women now, some of them, especially in this generation, that they're independent, they're strong, they make their own money, they don't need a man. And then then you got some men that are, the new term I've been hearing now for the last year is a beta male, where they'll bend over backwards for the woman, and then like you said, it doesn't work because then the woman says, "Oh, this guy is too soft. I'm going to put him in the friend zone. That's where he's going to stay at.
Can't respect him."
Yeah, I can't respect them and all that. So then what are men supposed to do, in that, I know they got to grow a backbone. How does a man grow a backbone after being, pretty much another word, a simp, a beta male for, let's say 5 years, 10 years, whatever? How can they take that step to say, hey, you know what? I have a lot to offer. I'm the man here. I'm going to lead.
Well, and that's pretty much it. What happens is I have also part of my work. I have a men's group, so I'm mentoring young men into becoming independent, strong, powerful young men to have who have purpose in the world, who have something they're shooting for. They're conquering something in life. You know what I mean? They're contributing. They're not just passive. But so for most of them, they've been shamed either by their culture, their mother, right, their teachers, to be not masculine. They've been shamed of their being, so they haven't been allowed to grow their masculinity. It's toxic, it's dangerous, it's unsafe. Women don't like it. That's not true. All right, toxic masculinity is not about masculinity. Soft men are the toxic ones. It's the lack of masculinity that makes men toxic, boys toxic. Men are not. Masculinity makes men stand up, straighten up, fight, conquer, defend everything, women, children, animals, anything that's unfair, men step up to fix and fight for. Right. Masculinity is super powerful, and there's a certain strength to it that is appropriate for life, for society, for culture, for women, for relationships. That is not what's it called? That is calibrated in, right? Masculine but not toxic, masculine but not dangerous, masculine, controlling but not over controlling, right? Not to the place where it's unhealthy. But men have to be man in order to do what men do and provide, protect for everything, women, children, like I said, the planet, men naturally provide, protect, and give to women and children instinctively. So we don't shame them out of it, which is what we've done in our culture. We help them step into it, so they become confident. They step to their fear. They conquer their lives. They conquer their goals. They go after something that they're relevant. They do something in the world that is relevant and important to them, that makes them relevant, important in society. And those are the guys that both men and women can respect. Handle your stuff, grow some balls, manage something, get yourself on the other side of fear, and then it builds your confidence and your strength. And people go, "Woo, that guy's got his shit together." Women love that. That's sexy, right?
Yeah.
Living in the basement in your mother's house at 30, playing video games, not so much,
Right.
dudes. So wake the hell up, right? So stop being passive, and you'll find your way in the world by pushing through your fears. That is the point. That is the thing that you have to conquer first. No woman can follow a softy little mama's boy. No one. Sorry. So
I,
nice boys end last. That's where that comes from, right? Good boys end
no.
up doesn't work.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Because
No
Andre,
worries.
you hit it on the point where men are being too soft because whether it's society putting them that way. Because, like you said, and it's funny because I never thought about being a beta male as toxic. But yes,
It is.
if you bend over backwards to a woman and you don't show any backbone, she's not going to respect you. And I've been hearing that over and over and over again.
She
So
can't. She
so go ahead.
can't. She
Right,
can't respect you. It's impossible. You have
right,
nothing with her. You're actually kind of scary to her and unsafe, which
right.
is the last thing she needs.
Right. So we always hear the term. I remember when I was growing up, Andre, when I was, I think, in my 20s and 30s, when I heard the word at that time, when I heard the
Mhm.
word nice guy, I was like, oh, wow, she likes me. Man, I didn't know I was put in the friend zone back in those days,
In a second.
and I hated to now, looking back years later, I'm like, shit, I was put in the friend zone because she say, oh my God, you're such a nice man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, now if I hear that term, I'm like, I'm livid. I don't want to hear that
Yep.
shit. So, so let's talk about what makes a man commit. And so what are maybe a couple of steps that we could talk about? What would make a man commit to that lady that he loves or he likes or he's interested in? Maybe a couple of steps you could talk about, and then let's follow up with what won't make him commit.
Right. Okay. So what? Okay. Let me see. So what makes a man commit is he has to first. We just talked about it, right? He has to go conquer his own self, his own
Mhm.
life, his own fears, his own sense of what he's passionate about and what he wants to do, produce a legacy in the world. He
Right.
has to be a cause of something,
Mhm.
and on his way to something. Now, when we're young men, we have to find our ways, and that's the point. But it's not about being passive. So a man who builds his character that way, disciplines his life, goes to school, push through everything he needs to push through to build something and build his confidence doing that, build his character and confidence by going after what he wants. That is
Mhm.
difficult. That is the point. It's not easy, it's difficult. But that's how you build your character and your strength and your confidence.
Right.
So these guys are the guys who want, because they're capable so much, they can't take care of women, they can't have children, they want to have children, they want families, they build their kingdoms, and they literally kind of want to put their arms around everyone that they care for. Immediate family with wife, kids, but they're surrounded with families, right? They put their arms like a king around their kingdom, and they want to provide and protect and give to all of them and cherish the women. That's the masculine. So men have to go for that. They have to build their character. These are the guys who take care of women. These are the guys who commit. These are the guys who build long-term relationships. So what it takes for them to do so is a partner who gets them.
Mm.
Ladies, you don't get if you try to change a man. Well, now we're talking about what doesn't work,
Right.
right? If you want him to walk away, try to change him. Women have that idea of like he's okay, but if I need to train him a little bit more, right? I need to, right? Like you're gonna make him act right. Imagine me saying this to any woman or you. She needs to stop talking. She's always emotional. She needs to stop with that shit. I need to get to the point when she talks. Like everything that is feminine, let's just say we make negative.
Right.
I'd get stoned to death instantly. You would too. Any guy would, right? But we
Big
have,
time, yeah.
but we have no problem telling men they're wrong. They need to do it differently. They need to be more talkative. They need to be more feminine. They need to be, blah, blah. But so all that a man knows is you get him or you don't. If you get him, you support his effort, who he is, what he values in life, what he's going, and that gives him the jet fuel to go do it. By the way, it's to support a woman who believes in him that gets him flying higher than he could. That whole idea behind every great man is a fantastic woman. Exactly. Without my wife, I'm not this guy. I wouldn't care that much. I wouldn't push this hard. I would have no reason to conquer so hard. I'd be okay. Just men live small when they don't have families to live for. Do you understand? So if a woman doesn't get you, like, why would you hook your wagon onto this? If she's trying to change you, why would you do that? Like, if, the moment a woman's trying to change us, right? You know that the rest of your life this is how it's going to be. This is when men jump out. No. So what makes a man commit ultimately is a woman who gets him, supports his effort in life, supports his big plan, right? And again, that gives him the jet fuel to go do it bigger than he even thought was possible. And in return, he takes care of her and the children and lavish her with everything she wants, because what inspires a man that keeps him going is the fact that he's successful, not only financially, but with his woman. So when she's happy, she could inspire him to do more. When she's happy, right, that energy is uplifting. And so as long as he'll kill himself to provide a good household, to provide quality of life, to keep her comfortable, because when she's comfortable, she's happy. And when she's happy, he's happy, right? It's a very, very, very simple formula.
It seems simple, but and I'm not here to contradict you, because I agree with what you said. I remember a couple of women that I dated uh, years ago, and they wanted me to speak a certain way and act a certain way. I'm telling you, Andre, I was effing miserable. I
Yeah.
was, because I'm like, I'm a sports guy. I love watching baseball. I love watching football. And I remember there was a girl I dated just recently. Oh, you're like my ex. I'm like, and and for that minute, I did change. I didn't watch football, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm miserable. I'm not going to watch whatever she wants to watch. I started
Yeah.
watching football game, and that's me. I'm a sports guy. I like certain TV shows. I'm not here to watch the singing shows or anything. That's not me. I like watching baseball and football, on occasion basketball and men's hockey.
What's wrong
So
with that?
exactly, and I felt that some of the couple of the women that I was with, they didn't want me to do that anymore. Again, they wanted me to dress a certain way. Andre, I'm one of those guys, when I'm in the leisure, give me a sweatpants, a baseball cap, a t-shirt, and I'm fine. Now, if I got to go out, yes, I'll dress up. I got a blazer and all that. So, are we in this day and age thinking that maybe women are not understanding us, that they have an image of us the way they want us to be? Is that what leads us to this clash all of a sudden now?
Well, when
I hear the tone of your voice, Andre.
you what?
I said I heard the so I
well, because it's so like so not. Oh God, it's so. What happens is women always had the idea of look at it. Just watch I Love Lucy, right?
Yeah.
So he was in charge, and she did everything she could to change his mind, to get around his head, to get some more money, to get ahead, to manipulate him in some kind of ways, right? Like that's always been the woman's job, to sort of sneakily kind of like get around him, because the idea that he had too much power because he controlled the purse or whatever, like he was the man of the house, made her sort of having to find other ways to get her way. You know what I mean? This kind of like the dance between men and women, right? So like nobody wants to be controlled, and men's nature is to control everything around them. Like I said, their kingdom, their lives, their world. They plan everything, they plot everything, they plan them. Right? That's controlling is masculine. Women can also be very controlling with their masculine. It's just a masculine trait. Again, it has to be kept in check. But now that women are liberated, that's how they say it, right? I don't need no man. Right. Well, signal received. Look around. You don't get no man, right? You want to be strong, independent, and powerful. You want to control everything. You want to be in charge. you'll be around boys because they want you to pay, they want you to be in charge, but an actual male will not step into this. Men find masculine movement very irritating. You're disrespectful to his very own masculinity, ladies. So, how do we get here? We're talking about not getting each other. So what's happening is now that women feel empowered, in every ways in our culture, they sort of kind of naturally, because it's already in there, decide that they're going to make man act right. And that is how they sort of the formula. If you don't get me, like you like to watch football, she decides you shouldn't watch football. That's ridiculous. It's like you saying to her, don't get your hair done. It's stupid. It's too much money, and I like you, mousy. Like, why would you do that? You can't. You don't get to do this. So men can never tell women anything that they don't like about them, and we don't, because we don't really care that much. We're not attached to the details. They are. All right. So the idea of he needs to dress a certain way, he needs to act a certain way, he needs to wear his hair a certain way. Well, that's his mother. And that's another layer of disrespect. Ladies, you can't do this. So find yourself a man who's got good values, good ethics, good work ethics, knows where he's going in life. Do you know what I mean? And is a good guy, and embrace all of that about him. Don't try to change him. And so part of the work that I do is I teach men and women speak differently for different reasons, and we listen differently as well. This is what we collide the most. I'd say we don't talk the same, we don't listen the same, we don't communicate the same at all. It seems ridiculous because I'm looking at her eyes, I speak English, no, we're not. Like, so this is my work, by the way. So the big part of my work is the communication part.
Right.
So that disconnect will often come off as disrespectful. So men accept the men with all the little quirks and his little hobbies and stuff that work for him. And when he goes too far, because he's masculine, if he's masculine, he's going to go too far. He's going to be too big. He's going to be too loud. He's going to control a little too hard. You're going to feel run over sometimes. You know what I mean? Now, there's a way to negotiate that with him. Babe, when you do this, I'm uncomfortable. Can we find another way? A guy who cares for you will absolutely adjust. A narcissist will not. Boom. There's another clue right there. Easy to spot the person that you can build with as opposed to the person you can't build with. So that's the cocktail. Men have much easier time accepting women with all the little funny things. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times did I say this? I'm hanging out with my friends, and I know what makes my wife go off, and I go, watch. She's about to go off. Watch. She's gonna go off. Watch. Right. And off it goes, and then we think it's funny as hell, right? Because it's a girl thing, right? Like that sets her off, but it's funny.
Right.
It's funny to her. It's very serious and it's infuriating. To me, it's funny. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not gonna make her wrong for this. That's part of her little quirky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we tend to be most men accept women the way they are with all the little stuff, as long as there's no deal breakers that keeps us from committing, trying to change me, right? Disrespect me. Don't get me, right? Refuse to accept me as I am. Men work hard, and part of the way we're able to continue working hard is by recovering and recuperating in our little hobbies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So your hobby for you is to watch the game, to relax. For me, I like to go to the junkyard. I have a bunch of old cars. I love going to the junkyard. It smells like oil. It's all dirty. It's disgusting. I love it. It reminds me of my childhood with my dad. You know what I mean? And I'm hunting for that little part that I need for that car. And I have to find the right. It's a hunt. It's so much fun. I'm like a pig in shit in the junkyard. I love it. Explain it to my wife. Makes no sense to her at all, right? But so if she didn't get that about me, it would be a huge source of trouble between us. Now she says to me when I'm edgy sometimes that I'm bored, and she's like, babe, how about you go to the junkyard? Why don't you just join it? Go 10 minutes away, right? Like, she sends me off. So, like, not understanding what makes him tick, his hobbies, the thing that would help him recover, get some good energy for him to go back to work the next day and fight again and conquer, right? So, ladies, you can't the same way we can't tell you, you shouldn't take that personally. Or why you get your nails done? That's stupid. That's $60 for what? I don't care. They're like, wow, you can't. So it's disrespectful both ways, except women seemingly decided that they can't. Well, this is where men step back. You don't get him. You're trying to change him. You disrespect him. You mother him. He's out of there.
Yeah, I've noticed that too with some of my friends and some things I see online where a woman doesn't get the man, doesn't respect them, is saying, oh, he's always watching the game, he's always doing this, and I get it what you said, Andre, because it does hit home where there's certain things I wanted to do, and it was just always a fight, and then I realized I mean it was afterwards that the ex-girlfriend I went out with a couple of years ago had masculine energy.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's like going out with one of my buddies. I
Yeah.
don't want to go out with one of my buddies that I play softball with or play catch with. No, I wanted a feminine woman, a woman, and I realized there was a clash there, and it didn't last long.
It doesn't, and that's what I see every day. That's all I fix every day.
Right.
Masculine women who realize, seriously, all my clients, every single one of them, realize they're 35, 40, 45 years old. They go girl, badass boss, babe, this, for 20 years, 25 years, thinking they're going to later on when they feel secure in life, no such thing, by the way, but that's an illusion, right? When they're secure with their careers, it's a job. It's a job. 98% of the time, it's not a career. It's a job.
Right.
Then now they maybe sort of start looking at maybe having a relationship because now they, companionship and maybe a couple of kids. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're so masculine, right? Men don't see them. Men don't respond to them.
Yeah.
When you wait too long as well, ladies, you completely, you've passed the window. Let's put it this way. There's a nice term for this, is your sexual market value is gone.
Yeah.
Young women have all the options. Many, many men, enough that they roll their eyes and get annoyed, at men constantly, coming up to them. Right? At 35, that's gone.
Yeah.
And so big mistake is putting your career in front of everything else. That's fine. If you don't want kids and a husband ever, that's fine.
Right.
But all my clients come to me after realizing that they've been sold a lemon by the feminist movement, their culture, their teachers, their mother who hated their father, who then turned men into the enemy, right? Like whatever it is, it's always the same. But now they realize I'm 35, I'm 40 years old. I'm sick of working. Money doesn't make me happy. I'm lonely, with my cat. I want a relationship, but they're often too tired, too burned out, too busy to even date. And then they're so masculine because they had to be masculine for 25 years or so.
Yeah,
they go on one date.
Yeah.
If they manage to get on one date, the guy disappears. So they come at me crying, like, what's wrong with me? I'm still pretty. I'm still young. I have my own place, my own money, my own car, my own apartment, my own. I'm going for CEO of the year. I'm like, who cares? No one cares. Men don't care about that shit.
No, I agree.
Again, women think it's valuable to men. It's not, ladies. It's not. No man cares about your money and your career. We care about your feminine traits. That's what attracts us to you. It's interesting, but that's not why we're there. Right? So, but women come at me crying and thinking, I should be no burden to any man. I'm so independent. Right? Well, you're missing the boat. You're too masculine. And guys go, no, thank you. Right? You show up on a date with your balls in his face. This is what most women do. They show up on a date with their fake balls in his face. When's the last time you want to have balls in your face, my man? William, really? When's the last time you want balls in your face? Anybody?
Never. The only balls is playing catch with my best friend.
Thank you.
And throwing a baseball. That's the only time I want to see a ball next to my face.
You know what I mean? But that energy is what kills everything. So women now don't understand. I'm pretty. I have everything. How come nobody wants to date me? I go, honey, you're a dude in a skirt.
Yeah.
You neglected your feminine energy so much because women also, when they get stuck in masculine, have come to believe that femininity is weak, is powerless, it doesn't produce anything, so they emulate men. And the problem with that is, hello, one more time, I'm teaching nature here. Men are attracted to feminine energy,
Yeah. Not the
not your
masculinity.
power,
Yeah.
not your
No,
power,
I
not your
agree.
fake balls, not your damn salary, none of that.
Yeah.
So, and then, so this is what I do with my ladies. I kind of unravel this whole belief system. I recalibrate them in their feminine,
Yeah.
energetically, and they become visible to man, not boys, man. And
Right.
also guys are like, hey, how you doing? I've never seen you before. Like just changing your energy and become stepping into that. And all of a sudden they feel seen. It makes them feel cherished. It makes them feel lovely. It makes them feel feminine. They get even a little giddy, getting
Mm.
attention from men again because they
Yeah.
haven't had that. And also nature does what nature does,
Yeah.
and off I send them.
No, that's great. I mean, first of all, Andre, my God, I could talk to you probably for another 2 hours. I
I know.
appreciate it's a fascinating topic. First of all, thank you so much for being on People on Day. And before I let you go, just a couple more things. Talk more about your coaching program.
So yeah, so there's different ways to work with me, and actually, I have a gift for your listeners,
Oh, okay,
if
great.
if you don't mind.
No,
So
no, of course not.
like we didn't talk much about. I said in the beginning, I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship until we unload the baggage of their past,
Right.
childhood stuff, abuse, neglect stuff. Right? I have us bent out of shape,
Yeah.
and we carry this through life. Bad past relationship, divorces, they all kind of get stuck on our nervous system. So we have to clean that up first.
Right.
So that's the work that I do. And then we go into building how do you build a healthy, loving, long term relationship with a man, understanding our differences, right? So if anybody resonated with what I said today, I designed with my team. If you go to andregroupcoaching.com,
Mm-hmm.
it's a landing page we created. It takes you to my calendar. So whether you're a man or a woman, go to that calendar, click the 1 hour VIP slot. There's a short questionnaire, and
Okay.
will send me a notice, and then I will set up a one-on-one call with whoever goes on there, and we'll have a conversation about what's not working, where you're stuck, because people are stuck a lot, right? What's not happening in your life? Where's the loop? Where is it that you find yourself like kind of spinning, always the same result? You don't know why.
Okay.
That's your childhood. That's your baggage,
Mm.
right? So we figure out what's not working, where you got stuck. From this place, I'm really good at this. In 15 minutes, we go right back to where it was.
Okay.
15 minutes on that call, we get to find out what happened to you and realize there's nothing wrong with you. You're a product of your circumstances.
Right.
That moment is even liberating. From here, now that we know what happened, there's nothing wrong with you. What's the goal? What's the dream? What's the dream life? And then this is why I have different programs: small, medium, large, extra large. Different ways to step in, different groups, and it's catered to whatever the client's needs is. So
Right.
there's flexibility within the program. So that's something to discover together. But that call is the base of the beginning of the work. If we're going to work together,
Okay.
pretty
So it's
amazing.
andregroupcoaching.com.
.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely put that on the show notes. And any books you would like to recommend?
But books, if you go, actually, I'm going to let you do this because it's hard to. It's a little bit long because I have a bunch of links. So I have projectequinox.net is my website. It's all in my signature.
Okay.
And it's all there. I have Instagram, Project Equinox. I have Project Equinox Andre Paradis is a page on Facebook.
Okay.
I have a LinkedIn, Project Equinox. So all these links are going to be posted below for you to copy paste.
Yeah.
I have a free small group, free big group on Facebook, where I do content. You have to be invited in, but it's free. I have 1,800 women in there.
Okay.
And then the other ones are 5 different programs that I have available, depending of the level of which you want to step in and rock and roll on the other side of from not knowing to knowing.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that on the show notes. Well, anyway, Andre, like I said, I could probably talk to you for another 2 hours because this is a fascinating subject. First of all, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. I really, really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. Well, everyone, that was Andre Paradis, and you can find him at projectequinox.net. That's projectequinox.net. Andre, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. Much, much appreciated. You can find me at peopleondating.com. That's peopleondating.com. Check out our past shows and check out our blog. Also, when you get a chance, please go to Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe, leave a review, tell us how we can make this show better. You can also find me on Google Podcasts and Spotify. Anyway, guys, on behalf of People on Dating, I'm Will Morales. Until next time, thanks everybody. Have a great day and please stay safe.